Kia ora, talofa, hi and welcome. I've got the man Ardie Savea here. Malo lava also. Appreciate your time. Welcome. How's it?
Malo levels, thanks for having me on. Really honored also to be in your presence. So everything's been all good also. I just felt like I've been run over by a truck after the weekend, but all is good.
Oh, yeah, no, I can. I'm glad those memories are gone now. When after you've played the Springboks, especially in the mood they were in, it's always an arm wrestle, and definitely was that in the weekend, eh?
Yeah, it was. Regardless of what happened in the past or how they've been going, every time we face each other, it's always a war. And everyone saw that on the weekend and probably see it this week. But yeah, it doesn't get any easier also.
Awesome. So, hey, look, sorry, I think I stuffed up there. I was meant to say, welcome you. Cut one to the CEO, one fail, start again.
Start again, also all good.
Right, get this right. 3, 2, 1. Kia ora, talofa, hi and welcome. Got the man, Ardie Savea, malo lava also, current All Black captain, and owner of Ardie Savea clothing. Is that right, also? Is that how you say it? ASAV clothing. Sorry, ASAV clothing. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Big weekend in the weekend, 100th test. And congratulations on the result, obviously, but it come at a price. How's the body going?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, brother. Really honored to be on this and be in your presence also. But yeah, the weekend, man, shucks. It was tough, eh? I feel like I've been run over by a truck. And it's 2 days gone by from game day. It's still sore. But yeah, man, just special to be a part of the 100th test match and kind of just following and, people like you and the legends of the game, just following in your guys' footsteps. So yeah, relaxing now, but then get ready to get bashed up again on the weekend.
Oh, yes. 7 days and you've got to do it all, or 6 days, sorry, you've got to do it all again.
That's it, right?
And
that's it also.
And that's why we're talking around business now, because, you can't do that all your life. But I think when we're saying we're following people, I'm following you into the podcast world and the business world. And that's what, part of this is about.
Yeah.
So, I've said I've started the Tanurumanga's team talk, and
that's it.
The kaupapa around that is just trying to get some learning around the business world, how you can transition on the learnings you can take from rugby to the business world, which is the path I'm on now. So I think we'll get into it in terms of some questions for you, like
also
what was the what was the thinking around you starting ASAV clothing?
Yeah. So it wasn't necessarily like also around when I was at school. I don't know. I kind of had this I had this thing in my mind and my heart that I kind of never wanted to work for anyone else. It was just, it wasn't that immediate thought, but it was kind of like the vibe that I could feel myself going. And I've always been like a dude that goes against the grain. So when I finished college, straight into sevens and footy, rugby was everything. And, obviously with rugby, you get, a good income or income that we're not used to as Islanders. We're like, 100%. And I was lucky enough to have my partner, that's my wife now, that's with me when I was at school. And the whole thing about, I don't even understand starting my own clothing brand or starting a business. Because, the word business, it's quite frightening to us, It's like, it's foreign language. And, for me, I had the idea of clothes because I considered myself as a fashionable person, but
you are.
Not to many other people, but that was just me. And then I thought, well, just why not start something and see where it takes me. had a bit of money that I could like invest in. If I had lost it, I was okay with that. So it wasn't like a be or end all. So I dived into it in 2017 with my wife as my business partner. And yeah, to this day, it's still going good, and still not. It has progressed, but still at a stage where we're looking to try and scale and grow bigger, and just try and keep the heart of it going.
Oh, that language scale. I'm just learning that language.
Yeah, I just learned it too and understood it too.
Oh, I don't know if I understand it yet. You know, you're saying in terms of being your own boss, you know, I think I've mentioned that. That's probably something that I didn't really think about, you know, in my days, just around playing, and I just loved playing. And then when I went to coaching, it's, and then all of a sudden you realize there's a lot of people that have control over what you can and can't do, you know, and, you know, it results mean a lot, you know, in our sport. So, or in any sport. So I think this is something that I'm kind of developed now too, and in terms of what you're saying around being your own boss. Shucks, it's hard. I've only been doing it for 4 weeks. You know, you can't tell anyone off or, you know, blame anyone else.
Yeah.
So, no, I totally get you, what you're saying there. And what are you, in terms of, you know, the skills that you learned in rugby, what do you think you've used, you know, when you've transferred over?
Yeah, it's amazing, eh? So now, like you probably realized it now with like leadership in sport teams and being involved in sport teams. A lot of the skill sets that we use in team sport and professional sport, a lot of that transfers into kind of business and how you run a business. And I didn't know that, you know, and it wasn't until I had someone that was able to speak like language that I understood. And it was like, also, you know, when you've got a leadership team, so yeah, and he's like, and then you've got like your attack team, your defense team. That's all part of how you run to the ultimate goal, which is winning a game. And I was like, yeah, and he's like, oh well, in business you have the CEO, then you have like your wife who's does the logistics, does all the communications, and then your part of the business is the design and the creative space, and then you two work together as a team. And then when you put out clothes, I guess the game for us is you putting it out there, and then the sales, obviously. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh. So a lot of the things that, that we, you know, around like consistency and what we do on the field, and in terms of how we plan our weeks and prepare, just the working hard, not like persevering through it, you know, all that stuff has kind of naturally just flowed into the clothing business and how I run it. But to be honest, also it's weird, because in rugby I'm really good at all those skill sets, but come business, sorry man, sometimes I just waffle and just like, you know, lazy. And I think that's the point that you brought up, it was around that there's no one else except at the start, there's no one else except you and obviously my wife, but mainly myself. There's no one else, it's just myself. And sometimes I just want to sit and relax, but I know that, I get caught in those moments, but for me, it's just around being consistent and persevering through the things that I don't want to do, that are like the ugly stuff, you know, the annoying stuff in the business realm, that I've got to continue to do.
So you mean like fitness testing when you transfer that?
Yeah, also
eating the right food. You got to do the stuff that you don't like to get ahead.
Yeah, and that's also, that's pretty much it. And I struggle with that still to this day around the business space, around doing all the little things right. Whereas on the rugby field, it's easy. It's part of, but it's just, for me, it's just slowly now, just learning that and being consistent in that stuff.
I hear you. I hear you. You know, you're talking around, you know, it's just yourself and your wife, and, you know, we can, I need to get some advice around, you know, how you worked with your wife, you know, that transition of different relationship when you're obviously, you know, the married life to business life. But in terms of seeking that help, you know, you said you had some usos that gave you some advice, you know, is there when did you figure out that, oh shucks, I need to start asking people? You don't like, you don't have a coach, you've just
yeah.
How did that evolve?
Yeah, also, like I also, to be honest, I actually just listened to podcasts and read books, because like there wasn't, to be honest, also like, and it's not to degrade like my community and stuff. Like I didn't know anyone that I could go to speak around the stuff that I wanted to go into. So I just, social media these days also, like the boys are talking, so I just listen to podcasts, people that I could relate to and understand that language. Podcasts, read some books. Some I'll just read the first page and close it and go, yeah, enough of you. But yeah, I pretty much just, everything just came through listening through YouTube videos, podcasts, and a few books also, and mainly around all that stuff. All my learnings was actually just me going through the journey. So like
awesome.
people, like around business, like I had no degree, no education, no knowledge. I just kind of, I had a bit of money, which I was grateful for, and just dived right into it. And I think for myself and many Pacific Islanders, we love to procrastinate. We've got all these mean ideas, and then we hate on the people that are actually doing it. Oh, they stole my idea. But I was lucky enough to have my wife who kind of kicked me up the bum to go, hurry up and start it. And I think for me, that was the hardest thing for business, was just starting it. Once I started it, it was like, even though it was hard, like I just learned along the way. Like I learned around like 3PL, like pick, pack, posting my clothing, like the manufacturing, how all that process works, the shipping costs, everything. And that was just through, the reason it was just through me starting that first step. Then everything just kind of like, I was in it. It was either I lose my coupe or I have to go all in it. And so that was the whole journey. Pretty much just book podcasts and YouTube clips. And then there was like a lot of people on the way when I started the journey that just had the little conversations. But yeah, that's how it kind of all came across around that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel YouTube's a great teacher.
Yeah.
Find anything you want. Find anything you want.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. In terms of the the day-to-day running. So obviously you're a busy man. The current All Black captain, and now you're away from home for months. For another couple of months. How do you manage your time? Like that must be tough. Obviously, I know. Obviously your wife's at home and she's.
Yeah.
How do you still keep connected with the business?
That's a really great question. Also, I'm still trying to figure that out now. We just kind of we did like a drop a couple weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe, or 3 weeks ago. And that went really well. Sold out, like bang, business going good. But it's the gap in between the drop and the next drop where I'm finding it difficult to actually still provide value for our community, our ASAV community, by me being on tour, like obviously being the stepping in as skip for this championship. So it's a lot of things. So like right now, there's been probably like 3 weeks where probably our community hasn't heard anything from the clothing brand yet, and so still juggling around that and still trying to provide value around that space. But the process of how I do also is like when I come to design the garments, I just sit in my room and just chuck on some worship music and just kind of jot down how I'm feeling, the journey, messages, scriptures that like I just resonate with. And then I just send it to my wife and we just pick 2 or 3 ones that we really love as a couple. And then I just start putting them on hoodies and tees and different ways and ideas. And then that turns into samples. And then once we get the sample sorted, then that's the collection. But so that stuff's easy. What I'm finding it hard now is just like times like now when I'm over here and waiting for the next collection to arrive in New Zealand, that 3 to 4 week gap is on how to just like keep updating our fans and content and value and stuff like that. That's where, I'm struggling, and haven't got it sorted. That also just still kind of on that grind journey. But that's where we're at now at the moment as a business also.
Yeah, it's tough to be consistent when you're consistently in different places.
Yeah. And I've, having my circle around me, some things like I'm a person that loves to say yes, just my heart. And, there's some things that, and there's some things, I've been advised and encouraged to there's some things on my table where I need to take it off and focus on the big rocks that I need to focus on. So, still a learning journey also.
Oh, well, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no for us, and that's kind of sometimes gets us in trouble, especially when time's at a premium. You own your own business, you got your own family, you got you're working. All at the same time. I understand. Let's get through these.
I'm just in awe at being in your presence also.
Oh, silly. I tell you, man, it's been proud to watch what you're doing, and also with those bringing those young boys along too. They're following you, and you can see that they're enjoying what they're doing. And they're putting it all out there for you in the jersey. Obviously, they know what it means, and they're playing good rugby.
Yeah.
Hard to be the positive team all the time.
Yeah, that's it. Also,
it's the whole rugby world's got wants you to do well because they don't like watching anyone else.
Yeah, I know. Also, that's it. It's an honored position to be in. Also, and even just to be here, it's a blessing, man.
Are you enjoying it? They looking after you?
Yeah, love it. Also, love it, man. Like, got great leaders in the team. Even the boys that are not leaders, they're just leading in their own beautiful way. And and the blessing around being away from the family for this long time, I think the biggest blessing for the All Blacks and like the team, because you know what it's like, you go away for 2 weeks, 1 week home, 2 weeks. So it just feels like, you're still like their legacy, but it's actually right now there's something special brewing also, like, because we've got to spend the 15 weeks we're together. So this is pretty much our and our family. And with us Island boys, man, like when we family, we got your backs, like we forever, And I think that's the feeling that we're slowly starting to build now. So it's it's gonna be cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Because you've got a lot more tests to go, huh?
Oh yeah, mate. Week by week, day by day.
Can you tell us about your core values in business and what your vision is for your business? And if you think that's important, obviously, we do that a lot in footy, and and I'm sure it's important, and we know it's important in business as well.
Yeah, our core kind of vision and value is to spread love, encouragement, and kindness to the world also using clothing, and that's pretty much it. And through those messages is through me and my wife's life and through our journey, and that's the kind of person that I want to be, and the human that I want to bring out, and the vibe that I want to bring out to the world. So that's kind of like the core values around that: love, kindness, empathy, like peacefulness, all of God's words. So pretty much, a big part of the journey is my faith, and just sharing that on clothing. Like people say, oh, I love clothes. Like I've got into being in the clothing, or like the journey of our clothing business. It's not necessarily that I love clothes. I just love uplifting people and making an impact in people's lives. And clothing is just a vehicle for that, So, the love and the alofa and all that stuff that's our core values for our business. And I'm a person that like loves to like walk the talk. So like a lot of the things that I put out there, I always make sure that I'm living it firsthand in my home and in my household. Because like, if you're not, then you're just, promoting something that you're not trying to be. And so I'm trying to do that. Not perfect, and not perfect, but yeah, that's the core values of our business. So
we all need a bit more of that, don't we? This in this time of our lives, with obviously what's happening over here at the moment, and you know, more kindness, and you know, like I say, understand other people's struggles, because everyone's struggling. You know, New Zealand's struggling, the world's struggling. Yet we can always, you know, if we have empathy and think about, you know, what we're grateful for, what we've got in front of us and above us and below us and around us, you know, and then I'm sure, you know, that'll kind of calm us down. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It is a tough one also. That's it.
Yes. Sorry, Us.
Nah, all good also.
Oh, that's been really good. Jeez, how long have we been going?
I don't know. It's good. So you're doing well for your first time, mate?
I'll tell you, man. Sully, you were when you hit me up today. Oh, the guy I asked him if I'm not prepared. Then I was running around and, you know, putting things together. But
sorry.
no, that's all good, man. Like, I didn't want to miss out. I think, you know, talking to you about, you know, what we're about and starting, you know, because obviously, like, as you saw and I sent through to you, you know, we've already talked about utilizing the skills we have, the talent we have. You know, you've used that, and you know, effort it's not about procrastinating. You can't just sit back and let things happen. You've got to develop the work ethic, and you know, you do that. You show that, and educate. So, hey, we've got to educate ourselves. We can't just. Oh yeah, I wonder what. Well, someone else can do that, or you know, and it's all the information's out there if we just put our mind to it. And so, you know, it's that continuous learning. That's what I'm finding. Wish I sat in class and listened a bit more in maths. So zero. We'll go through a zero thing today around sitting the calculator.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what my wife is. She's the one that I go, babe, we got a accountancy accountant come with me.
Yeah. Oh, I know that's like yourself. I'm fortunate my wife, she does 90% of it, and I'm just here I am. Yeah, I get to talk to you. I get to talk to you and make coffees, pack some boxes, you know, pack some orders, and but yeah, no, all this it's been a massive learning curve, and like I think you also talked around inspiring and being inspirational. You know, again, you know, the vehicle that you have and the person you are, you know, you do that. But again, it's all through actions. I think I love what you've been saying there. You know, and that's why I'm staying motivated around the journey. I know it's only been a short time, man. I tell you, it's been tough. You're just learning and scary and things like that, eh? But I think, as you've said, you know, you don't know until you try.
That's it. Also, don't know if we don't try.
Yeah.
And like I was like you said, the fear of failure. That's it. You know, like the fear of failure. Like, you know, you tell your boys your dreams and you fail. I told you, I want to be a boko. I mean, all that stuff. But man, like when you start to learn more about yourself and you know who you truly are inside, and then you just go for it. And once your boys and your community or see that, they're like, oh, I haven't experienced or seen this pathway that I can go down. Like, okay, I might give it a crack. And that's kind of like the heart behind it, is that like just giving our people or the people like another avenue where they can maybe navigate, you know, around that space, around owning a business, or, you know, because to be honest, like mum and dad, they only work 9 to 5s, which is awesome, and it's good too. But it's just opening up that option of like triggering the mind of people saying, oh man, what am I good at? I wonder if I can own something one day, you know, and seeing and paving that way. So it's awesome that people like us, and there's many others that are doing that right now. So for our younger generation, they're able to it's like a permission for them to do that stuff.
That's right. Not, I think, as you said, like you say, ego. Sometimes it's ourselves holding ourselves back because, I don't want to look like that guy, or shame. I don't, and especially at my age, I was pretty comfortable, and being comfortable. That's what I was comfortable on my couch. Just
that's what I also. It's getting uncomfortable, eh?
Yeah, and being confident, like you say, being comfortable in that uncomfortable. Yeah, no, definitely. And I suppose to finish off was, what advice? I think we've had some, man. It's even motivated me to, I'm excited about the path I'm on. Just talking to you. But what advice would you give anyone else, that's who wants to get into business, or out there, our people, or anyone, around, how do we get started?
How do you get started? I think as obviously, what is the idea that you have, that if you want to start a business, does that idea have purpose? Because I know for many of us is that if we start something, there's no purpose behind it, then we're not going to have the drive to go towards that. So the heart and purpose behind the business idea, and then obviously whatever that is, what I'm learning now is storytelling. The business, being able to storytell your business, what you're about, your day-to-day activities. What I've learned around the journey is that, like, one, our people are great storytellers, but we don't realize how effective that is in business, and people think business in a traditional way, like you got business plan, to reach little targets and goals, which is important too, but where the way it's moving, it's around the marketing and the social channels, and being able to storytell and create a community, build a community that believes in your purpose and your idea, make them feel part of it. And that's the journey I've been on, is building that community. Once you build and give value, then you're able to, when you come time to like sell a product or sell your idea or bring something, people feel naturally inclined to want to support you, because you're giving that, you're storytelling about your business, you're showing. And I think more people are more socially conscious around supporting local businesses, and especially in our times now. So if that was one advice we saw, is, or few pieces of advice, is like, what's your idea, and does it have a great purpose? Do you really have the whakua and heart to really drive and be consistent in that? And then 3 is storytell, like, be authentic and storytell about your journey of business, or what you want to share, because that's how you build community and build followers, and people just want to come back and purchase and buy or do whatever in terms of what you're trying to do with your business.
That's awesome. You're right. Storytelling, it's part of our culture. That's how the messages were passed on, and our history was passed on. Islanders and Māori, and I get you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, especially with the social media now these days. So that's how people consume now, and it's just another avenue and another space you can do it. But yeah, like, all our kids are on it, all our people are on it, and just being comfortable, being able to share, because it's like being able to share, like, we would say for my clothing, like, sharing the process of how the designs come to fruition, the process of packing the clothing and stuff like that. It gives an insight, and what you don't realize is that future kids that are watching you, that want to be own a clothing business, you're giving that knowledge away for free, so that they're able to start their own if they want to go in there. So that's the stuff around just storytelling and being able to market your, not even, I don't like that word, but just share your heart. And your heart's pretty much the business that you want to start, and people just naturally feel inclined. Like with us, with our business, like, we're kind of seeing a trend on, like, there's a few people that I call like loyal back-to-back customers that every time I drop, there's the same names that I see. And those are the people, like people try and get new audiences, but those people, the community, that's who I try and focus on and just always pump and provide value, and still trying to figure out new ways to provide value for those people. But yeah, once you build to that stage, that's where you kind of get to see the ones that really love your kaupapa and your heart. And once you get to that stage, it's quite like, it's touching, eh? So yeah, idea, purpose, and then storytell.
Awesome. Some great advice, you know, and I think I heard you say authenticity too, like you care about your community, and they want to come back for more because you're connected to them. You're giving them something of yourself. You know, they can see the real you are.
Yeah, and that's the important part too. Around, like, people always see like the fruit and all the amazing stuff, but what I found is, like, when we have like we stuff up in shipping, or we have delays in the clothing, like, I'll just get up and like I'll do a video, hey guys, and explain to them this is what it is, because we're all human, and in business you're always going to have. And for me, I've found showing those down moments have really like helped build that connection with like the audience, because they're like, oh, these guys are being authentic, like they're real, and people vibe with that. So that's what I'm kind of learning too, is being honest in terms of how our business is running and our struggles. Well,
that's good for me to know, because I'll be making a few mistakes, and I'm sure I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, man. It's gonna be a bit late. I think I picked the wrong one. Look, I know again, you've had a big weekend, and the bodies and need some nourishment. What time is it over there at the moment?
It's only like 3 or 4 o'clock p.m.
Oh, nice. So you got plenty of time before dinner.
Just relax.
Nice. Look, I really appreciate your time also, and the learnings. Definitely a lot of learnings there, not just for myself and hopefully for our listeners that are out there, and something that we can take away, but also, something that again, yourself and I wish, obviously, with ASAV Clothing, so proud of what you do for our community, our people, and our country, obviously, and countries, that you represent. And we wish you all the best for all the good skills for this weekend. We know that you will back up, because the box will be coming even harder.
Thanks heaps also, man. Really appreciate jumping on. When you message through, I was like, it was an automatic yes. Respect you and honor you also. So it's really nice to be able to be here and speak to you, and it's awesome to see you jumping into this space around business and learn. I'm excited for next catch-ups and see how it all goes. But also anytime, brother. Anytime.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.